Some things happened, but there was no sexual intercourse. The next day when I told her that was a mistake and this can't be anything more than what that was, she began to cry, and I realized at that point something felt off.
Tonight, former Bachelor star Clayton Echard speaking out.
Her whole goal was to overwhelm victims into not being able to function.
She would send me these dating contracts basically saying, if you date me, I will not go public. And then we can go ahead and I will close the court case, and we can figure this out behind closed doors.
She claimed reality TV star Clayton Echard was the father of her unborn twins, but prosecutors say it was all a lie. Now, Laura Owens stands accused of fraud, forgery, and perjury. And with a trial on the horizon, her story is unraveling fast. Hi, I'm Katie Ring, true crime analyst, self-defense instructor, and advocate for victims. And this is Crime House Daily, your weekday true crime companion, a Crime House original powered by Pave Studios. We follow the cases making headlines now, where justice is still unfolding. This is a Night Watch episode bringing you today's biggest crime stories. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel at Crime House Daily so you never miss an episode. This episode discusses active criminal cases and breaking news. The information we share is based on what's publicly available at the time of recording and may change as new evidence comes to light. We aim to inform, not to decide guilt or innocence, so everyone mentioned is presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Tonight, we're diving into the bizarre case of Laura Owens, a twisted paternity suit wrapped in fraudulent schemes with the star of The Bachelor caught in the middle. As Owens pleads not guilty and awaits trial in early 2026, we'll break down the timeline, the charges, and the tabloid's messy role in dragging Clayton back into the spotlight. In our main story tonight, we're talking about a case involving the star of season 26 of The Bachelor, Clayton Ray Echard. In August of 2023, a woman named Laura Owens filed a paternity suit against Clayton after an alleged one-night stand. But it wasn't long until Laura's story started unraveling, and now she's the one facing legal trouble. Laura has been accused of altering an ultrasound, lying under oath, and fabricating a pregnancy video, and has been charged with 7 felonies, including 4 counts of perjury. After this case hit the press, more victims came forward, claiming Laura has defrauded them as well. Given the high-profile nature of her alleged victim, there's breaking news coming out almost every day. So there are still a lot of moving pieces. Let's dive in. Before he was The Bachelor, Clayton Echard was just an everyday guy from Eureka, Missouri, a small town outside of St. Louis. Growing up, Clayton and his 2 younger brothers spent a lot of their time outdoors. In the summers, they loved to go to Lake St. Louis, where they would pass the days boating and fishing. But Clayton was also a hard worker. After high school, he played football for the University of Missouri, and in July 2016, the 23-year-old tight end signed with the NFL's Seattle Seahawks. Unfortunately for Clayton, he's cut from the roster before the regular season started. But he doesn't let it get him down. Instead, he shifts his focus to a career in business and starts working in medical sales. After a few years, he makes another transition into reality TV. In 2021, 28-year-old Clayton competes on season 18 of The Bachelorette. That year, The Bachelorette was a 28-year-old elementary school teacher named Michelle Young, and she and Clayton bonded over the fact that Clayton's mom was a teacher too, and they end up building a strong connection. But in the end, the connection wasn't strong enough, and Clayton was eliminated in 8th place. He wouldn't be off America's TV screens for long, though, because on November 30th, 2021, he's announced as the next star of season 26 of The Bachelor. Deep down, Clayton's a romantic. His parents have been together for 29 years, and he wants that kind of love in his life too. His ideal partner is someone smart, funny, independent, and ideally, she'd be a great workout buddy too. In the end, Clayton doesn't find what he's looking for, and the end of the season gets a bit messy. Clayton tells all 3 of the final women that he's in love with them. Not only that, he's intimate with 2 of them, and when he tells the third, Susie Evans, she quits the show. Clayton tries to go after Susie and propose, but she turns him down, and although they do try to date after the season ended, it doesn't work out. After this experience, Clayton decides to shift gears again and focus on himself. He moves to Scottsdale, Arizona, where he writes a book, starts a fitness coaching business, and gets his real estate license. And it doesn't take long for things to take off. On May 17th, 2023, just weeks after getting his real estate license, Clayton received a message on LinkedIn. It's from a woman looking to hire him as her real estate agent. Her name is Laura Michelle Owens. 33-year-old Laura is the daughter of Ron Owens, a radio host in the San Francisco Bay Area. Ron is a local legend and was inducted into the Bay Area Radio Hall of Fame. They were also well connected to influential politicians and TV stars like Bob Saget. So Laura is comfortable being around celebrities, and she wants Clayton to take her on as a client. Or at least, that's what she says. Laura and Clayton start sexting, and on May 20th, 2023, he asks her to come over. That night, Clayton says they only had oral sex and didn't do anything else. And the next day, he tells her he wants to keep their relationship purely professional, which Laura reportedly does not take well. According to Clayton, she breaks into tears when he turns her down. Her reaction is so intense, he doesn't think it's a good idea to even have a professional relationship. So he ends up asking his colleague to take her on as a client. But Laura wasn't going to disappear from his life that easily. 10 days later, she sends Clayton another picture. But this one's not a nude. It's a picture of a positive pregnancy test, and Laura says the baby is Clayton's. Clayton is understandably shocked and knows that's not even possible. He says that a positive pregnancy test isn't enough. He needs to see an ultrasound, and that if Laura is really pregnant, he wants to take a paternity test. Laura agrees, but it's still too early for her to get an ultrasound that would show anything. In the meantime, she emails Clayton several times a day, and in one of these emails, Laura proposes a dating contract. According to Clayton, the agreement says that he'll agree to date Laura for a week, and if it doesn't work out, she'll have an abortion. But if Clayton refuses to sign, she'll go through with the pregnancy. For obvious reasons, he does not agree to this proposal, but Laura doesn't give up. In fact, she is now insisting she is pregnant with twins. And on July 10th, almost 6 weeks after she told Clayton she was pregnant, Laura sends him an ultrasound. Clayton is not convinced though, so he does some digging and finds out that the ultrasound video was actually from YouTube, and he reaches out to the original poster to confirm it. She is also refusing to have him do a paternity test, despite the fact that she is far enough along that the results would show whether or not he was the father. And in August, she ends up filing a paternity lawsuit against him, seeking child support. And on top of that, she goes to the press to share her accusations in the tabloids. And the reaction against Clayton is savage. After Laura Owens publicly reveals her paternity lawsuit against Clayton Echard in August 2023, there's a ton of backlash against him. He already didn't have the best reaction with some online communities because of his behavior on his season of The Bachelor. He absolutely maintains that he did not impregnate Laura and that they didn't even have vaginal sex, but it doesn't matter. Before he gets the chance to defend himself in the court of law, a lot of people in the court of public opinion decide he's guilty. As a result, Clayton is dropped from a lot of speaking engagements he'd booked, and after Laura goes public with her accusations, nobody is calling Clayton. But Clayton makes an astonishing discovery. There are at least 2 other men Laura has allegedly done this to. Their names are Michael Maricini and Greg Gillespie. In both cases, the men claimed that Laura faked pregnancies in their relationships and had legal actions taken against them. Once Clayton realizes other people are going through the same situation, he decides to take the fight back to Laura. And in September 2023, he and Laura finally undergo a paternity test, which shows there is, quote, little to no fetal DNA in Laura's body, which means Laura is most likely not even pregnant, but she refuses to drop the case. During a hearing in November 2023, she testified that she'd just seen her doctor and that she's 24 weeks pregnant. So they do another DNA test. The results are the same, little to no fetal DNA. After this, there's not much Laura can do to argue her case, and in December 2023, she says she's no longer pregnant and asks for the case to be dismissed. But Clayton says not so fast and wants it to keep moving forward. He wants a non-paternity finding officially on the record, for Laura to pay his legal fees, and for her to be fined for bringing a bogus case to court, and shared this video statement to his Instagram.
Hello, everyone. We ask that you keep us in our thoughts and prayers as we enter into tomorrow's court hearing. We hope that justice is served and that this individual is referred to the DA for prosecution so that a future victim doesn't have to go through what we've went through the last few years.
Laura tries to counter Clayton's motion, but on February 21st, 2024, the judge announces her decision. The case will move forward. The case was finally heard on June 10th, 2024, just over a year after Laura first told Clayton that she was pregnant. There are so many spectators in attendance for the hearing that the court has to set up an overflow room. During the 2-hour hearing, while Laura is under oath, she continues to insist that she actually was pregnant. Laura also makes another claim. She says Clayton sexually assaulted her. As a disclaimer, every allegation of sexual assault needs to be taken seriously, and less than 5% of allegations are false. However, the fact that the evidence is looking like Laura most likely lied about even being pregnant and that she has done this to multiple men is not helping her credibility, and her claim has not been substantiated. The judge does not find any of her allegations or any of her other claims credible, and on June 18th, 8 days after the hearing, the presiding judge, Julie Mata, ruled in Clayton's favor. Judge Mata finds that Laura had falsified her pregnancy test, ultrasound, and sonogram, and decides that Laura had knowingly brought a false claim to court. So she orders her to pay almost $150,000 for Clayton's attorney fees. Her 19-page ruling says that at best, Laura's lawsuit was premature. At worst, it was a fraudulent attempt to force communication and/or a relationship with Clayton. Additionally, Judge Mata states that Laura has repeatedly engaged in this kind of behavior and refers the case to the Maricopa County Attorney's Office for criminal consideration. In July 2024, the Maricopa County Attorney's Office began their investigation into Laura Owens' false paternity claim. In the meantime, Laura decides to fight the judge's decision from her failed paternity suit against Clayton Echard. In November 2024, she appealed Judge Julie Mata's ruling against her. About 5 months later, on March 28, 2025, that appeal was denied. And almost 6 weeks after that, on May 6th, Maricopa County's investigation concluded, and a grand jury charged Laura with 7 felonies. Clayton was immediately relieved. The same day she was charged, he was quick to put an end to this chapter and shared this video statement to his Instagram. Let's listen.
Justice is finally served. I am absolutely amped to share this news with you all that today, as of I think 20 minutes ago, Maricopa County Attorney Rachel Mitchell has announced the indictment of Laura Michelle Owens on felony charges related to the paternity scheme.
The charges against Laura Owens included 1 count of fraudulent schemes and artifices, 1 count of forgery, 4 counts of perjury, and 1 count of tampering with physical evidence. The county's press release says, quote, between May 2023 and June 2024, Owens altered an ultrasound image, fabricated a pregnancy video, and lied multiple times under oath. The next day, Laura released a statement that the charges were the result of a coordinated harassment campaign against her. She says she's being targeted by a group called Justice for Clayton, which, as of this recording, has been rebranded to Victims of Laura Owens. Their website documents all of Laura's alleged crimes and the people she's victimized. But as always, she is innocent until proven otherwise. And on May 29th, 2025, she pleaded not guilty. However, the prosecution is pretty sure that they have a good case against her. And during a pre-trial conference on August 11th, 2025, it's revealed that Laura hasn't been offered a plea deal. That being said, there's still plenty of time before the case starts, and it was recently rescheduled to January 22nd, 2026, which means a lot can happen between now and then. But one aspect of this case has been settled. After Laura's initial appeal of Judge Mata's ruling was denied, she sent it further up the chain to the Arizona State Supreme Court. On August 27th, they denied it, and Laura will have to pay Clayton's attorney fees in that case. Laura is also going through a legal battle with one of her other alleged victims, Michael Maricini. In July 2025, she filed for a restraining order against him to be made permanent. This requires Michael to defend himself against allegations of abuse Laura made back in 2018, and they should be going to court for that soon. So Laura Owens' legal battles are far from over, and we'll be here to bring you all the biggest updates. As always, be sure to follow us at Crimehouse 24/7 for breaking news. What did you think of today's case? Drop your thoughts and theories in the comments. And follow us at Crimehouse 24/7 on TikTok and Instagram, and subscribe on YouTube at Crimehouse Daily. For ad-free listening, join Crimehouse Plus on Apple Podcasts. You stay curious, and I'll stay on the case. We'll see you next time.